Hi, I'm Sarah from the Board Game BBQ. Today I'm reviewing a game called Arma, which you can see here. It is a wooden dexterity game that thematically is about chariot racing, and these 5 discs are your chariots, and your goal is to complete a lap with each of them, and if you can do that before your opponent, then you win the game. This is a really exciting game that I would describe as pitch car meets crokinole. Because in crokinole, if you're not familiar with that, you are also flicking your disc. You're flicking it from a baseline and you're trying to get it into the middle to get as close to the middle as possible, or even into the middle slot to get lots of points. Whereas this game, you don't have to worry about points. You're just racing like in pitch car, and you can actually flick people off of the board, your opponent off of the board, which is really fun as well. There is a lot of skill involved in this game. And one of the reasons is it's not just about controlling how far you flick, but after the first launch of your chariot or your first shot, then after that you have to hit one of these pegs each and every time you play. So, and it goes back and forth. You take one shot and then your opponent takes a shot. So this is actually really tricky. I found myself when I was playing, I was always trying to hit these ones in the middle because, you know, you can have a look at them. There's a few of them and you're more likely to sort of hit those. Whereas these ones in the corners or on the sides, they're harder and they've got a bigger sort of gap in between that you could fall through. If you do fall through, you have to start that lap over again. So after I played a lot, I realized that it isn't as hard as I thought to hit these side pegs, and so I was going for them more and more. And it actually pays in this game to take risky plays because it is so fast paced, and your opponent can get ahead of you, and then that's when you start taking risky moves. But of course, that's when you start stressing out, which means you can make mistakes as well. Really thrilling game. I liked it a lot, and it looks really nice. I have to say, I'm a big fan of wooden objects. Like, they're beautiful. I have a lot of wooden furniture, and I've got some exposed beams up here, and yeah, I've got to say that it's really lovely to look at. And crokinole boards are lovely too, but they generally, the commercial ones, they're made of MDF. It's not hardwood like this, so I think that comes to my the negative part of this game, which is the potential price of this game. I imagine it's not going to be cheap. It's coming to Kickstarter, and it's solid hardwood and it's handmade. I cannot imagine this being a cheap game, but I think it's something that would stay in the family as a heirloom even, and I think it's something that families who aren't gamers would enjoy. Of course, they're probably not going to watch this review, but it's definitely a game that you could get people who are not typical gamers to play, and they would have a great time, just like playing, Skittles or bowling or foosball or pool. This has the feeling of pool because you have to line things up with the pegs and decide where you're going to hit the peg and where's it going to go. So it does have a big pool vibe from that, and I think the skill that is required in pool there's a huge learning curve here. I think the learning curve here is smaller scale than that, which is really good, because after a few plays we were able to feel like we were doing pretty well, and that we were pulling off some exciting moves and some great moves. And it's especially fun when you flick your opponent off the board. It's just fun. Like, everyone laughs. It's not a moment of anguish for the person that got knocked off. It's just, that was great. You did a good job, and the game is over in like 10 to 20 minutes, depending on just how much you're knocking each other off of the board. So there's nothing really to lose there. This is I heard the expression a beer and pretzels game this week, and I think that that's what Arma is. It's a beer and pretzels game with a lot of skill, and even my 10-year-old likes it, which is great. It's a great family game. So please do check out Arma when it comes to Kickstarter if you're interested. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time at the barbecue.